So continuing on, Control plus brings it closer. Spacebar brings it down. I don't know why my face keeps jumping in here, but I'm going to turn that off. I'm still on the color layer. I'm going to change the color to brown because that's mostly what my hair color is. Tap the B for brush. And then just go in and colorize the hair. And again, I'm just using the brush on this one. I could use also the lasso tool like I showed you a moment ago in the other video. In fact, let's do that because I think that would be quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of this area. Let me show you the difference between the two lasso tools. This is the other lasso tool, which is the regular one. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see that it's a little more precise. If you're good with your mouse or whatever thing you're using, this is actually pretty quick. I've been using a mouse for something like 35 years, so it's a lot easier for me to use it than a lot of people. Edit, fill, foreground color, OK. Control D is going to deselect the lasso. Let me show you what happens if you don't deselect the lasso. If I've got the paintbrush tool and I want to paint out here, it won't let me because it only allows you to paint what's inside the selected area. So that's one of the other beauties. It's almost like a mask in airbrushing. So again, Control D, and now I can go in here and add some details with the brush and overlap it a little bit. Control plus zooms me in so I can see a little bit closer and get all of these details in here. And you can be, again, as detailed or not detailed as you want. If you want to try and follow the strands of the hair, if you've got hair like this on your character. Spacebar, move the screen around, tap the E for the eraser to get rid of some of this stuff. Tap the B again to get the brush. I want to make it a little bit smaller, left bracket, so that I can get some of the hair over here also. Now the beauty of this program, just like Photoshop, if I want to leave the character in one layer and start messing around with the color of other things, I'm just going to relabel this as skin. I just double click that. And I'm going to add another layer by clicking this. Put it below the skin layer. And I'm going to call this pillow. Let's say I want a green pillowcase, a subtle green pillowcase. I'm going to use a large brush. So I've already got the brush tool selected. Right bracket, make the brush really big. Use the space bar to move the screen view down. And see, I can paint right over this. I can paint right over the face because it's on a different layer. Now, if you'll notice, his eyes are still transparent. If I went here, notice how the eyes turned green? That's because there was no pink on them. So again, this is how you can very quickly, you can add as many layers as you like. Since my bed sheets are the same color as my pillow, actually I'm going to make them a little bit darker. So I'm just going to go in here, darken it up like this, click OK, and then I'm going to do the bed sheet back here. Notice how it's going over onto a sleeve right here. Not going to worry about that because I can either create another layer or just erase it. So there's my bed sheet. If I want to get this green again exactly, I can click the eyedropper tool and click it here. And watch what happens to the color when I click. It got a little darker. That way I can go in and redo some of these other pieces that I may have missed. I don't know about your pillow. Tap the eraser tool, but my pillow actually has blue stripes on it, which is why I did the stripes in the first place. So I'm going to select the color here, click on blue, make it about that color blue, click OK, go back in here. Whoop. And color the blue stripes. With the brush. A little bit smaller on the paintbrush. I'm not super concerned about this other than as I just missed that, Control Z will bring that away. Again, this could be done in a different layer if you want. I'm not going to bother with that. Notice how it's getting kind of sloppy in here. See how there's a little purple right there? To fix it, I'm going to select the eyedropper tool, but notice how the eyedropper tool has an eye. So with the brush selected, if I tap the letter I and click here, it's going to change this color to green. Tap the B, and then I can paint right over that. Same thing here. I'm going to tap the I, select this, it'll give me the lighter green color, and any place I missed, I can just color over it. So that's the beauty of keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to make the shirt, I'm doing Control minus. I have a very bright red shirt, so I'm going to make my shirt really red. I'm going to select this layer. Select this layer, create a new layer, call this one shirt. Tap the B for brush, and then I can color this. Notice how it's coloring over the green. The reason it's coloring over the green is because the layer is above the pillow layer. So that green is actually still back there. It's just covered by the red layer or the shirt layer. So I'm going to finish the rest of this so that I can show you the next step, but that should give you a good idea of multiple ways to color your cartoon. Because I want to get to the point where we lay it out in Google Docs. One other thing you can do, if you notice I'm doing an outline around this shape for his shirt, let me show you one other way that you can select areas to color. So this red line should be all the way around the shirt now. Watch what happens when I turn off the black layer. Notice how there's a hole over here? That's got to be, I've got to make sure that that's covered for this next technique. This is something that people use in Photoshop all the time. So I want to see if it's possible in Photopea also. So now that I've got a red shape, I'm going to turn off the black layer. I'm going to turn off the skin layer. As long as this whole area is selected like this, I should be able to select with the magic wand. And watch what happens when I select with the magic wand. If I click inside here, it's going to select everything inside that unbroken shape. Now I can go edit, fill, foreground color, OK. Deselect, Control D. And now you notice there's a little tiny white line in here. I'm just going to brush over that. So that it's got a solid red shape. So this is how I would colorize my card. One way that I would colorize my card to put into Google Docs for my final. I'm going to turn the black layer back on. I'm going to turn the skin layer back on. Hit Control- a couple of times. And I notice that the skin is a little bit dark as far as that pink color. So again, I'm going to select the magic wand and click on here. Hold the Shift key down and click on here. Now I can change the skin tone. I'm going to use the eyedropper to select that color. And I'm going to choose a different skin tone color because I don't really like that skin tone color. Not sure if this is any better, but I'm going to go with this one. Maybe a little bit darker. Click OK. Edit, fill, foreground color, OK. And now it changed the color of that. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these so that I can save this file. Here's the other cool thing about this, though. If I do File, Save as PSD, File, Publish Online as PSD, it's going to go back through this same process, and let me show you what happens. It's going to save it. It's publishing it to Photopea. It's opened up a whole new link. So I'm going to copy this one, select all that and copy it. Go back to my Google Doc and paste it. Notice how these two links are different. This one was before I started coloring and making changes. So I've actually got two different files. If I prefer the skin color on this one or any other changes I made, I can go back to this one. But for now, I can just close this and then continue working on this. So then in the next video, I'm going to finish coloring this, and then I'm going to record another video of importing this into Google Docs.